Is it on? It's on. I like tinkering with stuff. Okay? I like carburetors. I do not like fuel injection. I don't care what the performance angle is. But they're hands-free. You don't have to mess with. I like tinkering with that stuff. It's my thing. I like to do a carburetor rebuild, that kind of stuff. And by doing it, I got much better at it because I've learned things. I've always done things wrong. I've never been that good to do anything. I've always been the hard to figure things out, kind of stupid or whatever the case is. But then because I had to work so much harder than your H1B1 guy, work so much harder to figure something out, I usually learned more. So I got pretty good at carburetors. But I like to tinker with stuff. That's why I have an older bike. My Harley's an older bike. It's not fuel injected. It's got a certain type of clutch that's easier to play with. I like that. That's why I got it. I prefer the older cars and all this kind of stuff, as inefficient as they can be, because I can actually do something to it. There's very little I can do to that Honda out there without getting metric. But I like to tinker with stuff. I have a machine at work. You've seen it in some of my videos. It's this drum plates thing. It's a ball picker. It's a range picker that we use at the golf course on the driving range. We've had these. I was raised around these things. As long as I've been alive, there's been a range picker in my life or two. We've owned a dozen of these. But it's a big part of our business. So we have actually two units. One we rotate them. One is a spares. It's an older one. Then we have the newer one. And as things get sloppy, we rotate them out. These things wear out. So I have to tinker. I had to tinker with them, find out why these things keep wearing out. They wear out too quick. And the brand we use, it's called a Wittek SL90. I think there's only two companies, maybe three that make them. But we bought a setup. It's a 5-drum, 5-gang setup. And it lasted pretty good. We beat the hell out of them. Then we bought another one. And we probably got 10, 12 years out of both of these. Then we got a third one. It didn't last a year. I was like, what the hell? And really couldn't see what the difference was. But it's basically a bunch of plastic plates held together by rods spinning over an axle. These plates roll over a golf ball. It pinches the golf ball, picks it up, throws it into a basket. Real simple design. They designed this back in the 20s, I think. It's very effective. So I just got to thinking, a unit, the roller itself, the drum itself, it's almost $1,000. And so I think that might even be, I think these ones we might have paid $800 for them, brand new. So they get sloppy. And the famous, okay, well, we got to buy some new ones. These things just aren't doing it. They're only picking up half the golf balls. I said, let me take one home to see if I can tinker with this thing and see what it does. Took it apart. It looks pretty. You have all these plates, I said, stacked up, held together by these rods, traveling around an axle. Well, they're all sloppy. When they're sloppy, they don't pick up a golf ball. So we got these bolts on the outside, these nuts on these bolts, and we just tighten it up. No big deal. Bring it back. It wouldn't even fit now. And realized, these plates are wearing thin. They're getting thinner. All I did was mash them together. It looks better, but now it no longer fits its parameters. We made it too small, too narrow. So we brought it back home, took it all apart, took washers, put them in between the plates to get it back in position, put it together. Now it fits, and it would pick up the golf balls. It would last for about a week. The guy said, hey, man, this thing's screwed up again. So I bring it home thinking I'm going to tighten it up. Well, get any tighter. Washers are still there. And I realized, and it was just by luck, I guess, I saw something there that had like a little hidden feature where it's not just one thing that is wrong with this machine, there's two. I was fixing the one. You got to fix the two. So, it'd be hard to explain. Once I realized that, okay, I got to do these two things are going on wrong. Made the replacement there. Had to add a different kind of a soft rubberized washer to hold it tight, and then do all the washing. Now they work. All right. I can get months out of them before I have to do it again. And I could probably do the same process fixing both. Let's say in a year I might have to do each one let's say 3 times at the most. Now, I've had people that I work with. Yeah, but if you look at your labor, it's not worth it. Just buy a new one. You don't be working on that stuff. Just go buy a new one. They're like $1,000. Now, it's not the correct math, but I figure every time I fix one of these things and put it back in service and it lasts for 90 days, I saved $1,000. I did not have to spend $900, whatever they are now. And so people can tell me, you have to keep repairing those. Why don't you just buy a new one? Which I'm going to have to buy the new one in a year. I'll have to start the same process all over again. And someone says, yeah, but I had someone say, isn't your time worth something? Yeah, it is. And in my time, I'm keeping $1,000. I don't need to get paid. If I had to spend, I'm not spending hours and hours on these because now I know what the system is. I actually fixed one last night in 30 minutes. It wasn't as bad. If I get to them sooner before the guys really hammer on them, I can fix them quicker. But the point of the video is, I get so many people that act as though, man, their time's valuable, which it is. I don't dispute that. But these people are 9 to 5, and after 5, they go do their personal stuff, whatever, until they fall asleep at night, 10 to 11 o'clock, because hours of freedom. I don't have that kind of freedom. I don't. I'm just too busy. And I have a night business. I have a day business. My own stupid fault. No one to blame but me. But I don't have the kind of time. So my time is really valuable to me. But I can make the time to do these little fixes and save myself a whole bunch of money. Whereas a lot of people, they just don't have the patience to mess with anything. I know there's a lot in our culture. And it's not just young people. It's all kinds of people. Oh, why are you going to mess with that stuff? You get a new one. I'm like, a lot of things you cannot repair. There are some things that you can't fuss with. I own some things like that. I am also old enough, I remember a time when this is a bad example. It's a fuse. You could go down to Orchard Supply Hardware and buy this fuse. Let's say it was $10. Or you could buy components of this at the same hardware store for $5 and build your own fuse. Okay? Those days are gone. Because now you go buy the fuse, it's about $15. And if you take the components to build it, it'll be $35. And it's all coming from China. They're getting paid on both sides. But it's just, I think people do not have the patience to wade through that. Now, if I wasn't interested in this kind of tinkering, then no, sure, I wouldn't do this. I would have to, my time is more valuable spent doing something else. So I'm going to take out the $1,000, pay this other guy to tinker with it, or buy a new one, or whatever the case is. I get that. Lucky for me, I kind of enjoy this. But just so quick for people to just go get a new one. Oh, don't mess with that. Just go get a new one. You can do something else with your time. What am I doing with my time? I don't have much time anyway. But as long as I'm enjoying this, who cares? And I'm saving the company, $800, $900, $1,000 every time I do this. And so, yeah, but what about your hours? You're not getting paid for that. No, I get the enjoyment out of it. And really, if you added up the amount of time I spent repairing these, it ain't much. I'm doing quite well profit-wise on this little. I lose money everywhere else, but on this little endeavor, I'm making out like a bandit. But somehow they don't see that, but that's okay. And the bigger takeaway, I was really concerned and worried prior to Trump getting elected. What's going to happen? Are they going to do like they did before? Is it going to be this crazy that's going on? Whatever. None of that happened. Thank God. You know what I worry about now? I don't trust any of these people. I don't trust any of this going on. I don't like this joining up with the tech world. We have a vice president, then we have a vice president. I'm a little scared with that thing. I'm not into the brain chip myself, but I might need one, who knows. Anyhow, time spent tinkering around with something I'm interested in is far more beneficial to me and actually saving me tons of money than wasting my brain on what these people are telling me, whether it's the influencers, the podcasts, and so. And I'm just as guilty. But if you're watching a lot of this stuff and it's getting you down or concerned or worried, go build a birdhouse. Fix that leak in your sink. Go do something constructive that benefits you today. And actually, in the process, I can't tell you how many times I'll be working on something it'll create in your mind to fix something else. I've learned so much about everything else screwing with carburetors. At some point, I might have to write a book, How Carburetors Are the Origin of Life. Yeah. And then just times I'll get tuned into something and watch what this guy has to say. Here's another thing, too. I don't get too far off on a tangent. A lot of these big channel influencers and podcasters will bring out some new guy from this industry. Just to tell you how bad this group over here is and how we're good now. And we got all this, everything's good. And then you go back and you see the same guy that's telling you how all this, hey, we're in better, they're calling out another group. Then you can find out how evil this person was just 4 months ago. I shouldn't go down that path. But anyhow, find something to tinker with. Find a new skill. Go get a dirt bike. Fix a dirt bike. You go out in your garage sales and people trying to dump these dirt bikes, bring them home and get it running. See if you can get it running. If not, throw it away. Sell it, give it away, whatever the case is. Find something that fills up that part of your mind so these guys don't get a hold of it and mess with it. Whittle something out of a stick. Do leather craft. You might even make a business. Learn how to take headlights on these new cars and polish the headlights. I actually did that on one of my trucks, and it worked. And it was just a real fine sandpaper and a wax. They basically sand down your the windshield lens. I mean, you could tell every poor guy doing the road, his lights don't work for crap. That's a business right there. Find something like that. Build something. Fix something. Paint a picture, whatever it is. Write a book, whatever your deal is. Put your effort in that direction. Your creative side, where you're trying to figure this thing out. And because other stuff comes from that. You get other positive things that'll come from that. And you'll start fixing other stuff that weren't even planning on dealing with. See? You start, it'll take you in different directions. While everyone else is getting concerned or worried about what so-and-so said on the Rogan show and how this, that, or what if they don't do this or whatever. You got no control over that. But this stuff you have control over. Use it, man, because my best days when I've been slaving out here over some stupid, poorly built clutch or whatever the case is, and then I figure out a little hack. That's where it's at. Screw this other crap. Yeah, do your part or whatever the case is, and prepare. Because they ain't coming to help you. Anyhow. Pick up a trade, pick up a hobby, pick up something to keep your mind full of that fix, that repair. I got to figure this puzzle out. See? You get far more out of that directly for you. Far more benefit. There's longevity in that. Forget watching these bozos and telling you how good or bad the thing's going to be, or Greenland, or whatever stupid ass thing they're doing now. Be selfish about it. Take care of you. Love you. God bless.